So I think those were two great use cases, talking about monitoring with VDI or getting into looking at how media and entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, but another use case that across the campus I keep hearing about is unified communications.
Yes, I've seen a lot of people beginning to think about this, and I think it's not just cost reduction. I think it has to do with what the changes are to how you actually do your job, the collaboration aspect.
So I'd like to invite another guest, Carol. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Hey, Carol.
Hi, Brooke.
Nice to see you.
Carol, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Absolutely. My name is Carol Spowart. I'm the CEO of Eastman Technologies. We are a Microsoft Lync professional services group. We've been in business since 1994, and our foundation started with AT&T hardware and services. We have a strong voice background, and over the years we've adopted a managed services group for voice, data, and video.
So I guess in the early days, those were sort of separate, distinct areas, weren't they? You had telephone closets, you had data, you had voice and data kind of beginning to be thought about, but not really brought together yet.
Absolutely. Each one of those groups had their own division building. We weren't allowed to cross over into other people's territory, right?
Right.
And with Microsoft Lync, it's brought it all together under one client application that the end user loves for an experience. And it requires an integrator to understand all facets of the network.
So let me ask you about that. When you say integrator, you've got to bring a lot together, I think, to get a good Lync environment. It's not just putting a server in or taking a look at a network connection. Do you have a process you go through to sort of work with a customer and have a successful installation?
Absolutely. The first part is to do a network assessment. Okay. Look at what the client's environment currently contains and what their end goal is in a Lync UC deployment.
So when you do an assessment, I mean, it's the whole thing from the desktop all the way back to the servers?
Absolutely.
So then what do you do when you get finished with the assessment? Do you come up with a design for this? Or?
Yeah, we create a design, an engineering design for the client. And of course the design is in consideration with bandwidth. That is the largest factor. That's the key component to making sure that the UC deployment is a success.
That's it. I mean, in the past I haven't seen voice installations really dependent on bandwidth. It's really been a change from some of the old solutions I've seen.
Most of us are running around with Blackberries or iPhones or other PDAs, and we're pushing everything to either our desktop device, it could be a laptop.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I live at the moment, is when I use Lync, I've got it all coming into that screen on my desk.
Exactly, or it can be on your PDA. And all of a sudden, all of your applications are terminating on one device. The quality of service is paramount.
But if all your applications are there, then when you lose access, it's not just you've lost your phone, you've now lost all ability to run work and run business.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that makes a big impact then, I guess, on the network and what it's got to do. And it's not just the campus itself, it's the network large, all the way across the wide area links and the data center and out to the campus.
Yes, and that's one of the benefits that Brocade brings to the campus environment and a UC deployment. It's from the core to the edge. It's the ease of use. And it's also the strength of the product.
So after you're doing that assessment and you want to actually migrate in a Lync solution, I've seen old solutions where it's a day one cut over, and there's a lot of panic of whether or not you're going to have the entire company cut over at one process.
It's the gamble your job. Had you made the right decision? Exactly.
Yes, the moment of truth.
Yeah. One of the beauties of Microsoft Lync is that you're not gambling your job, that it's the best decision you've ever made on Monday morning and you hope it all turns out properly. Do you run for the hills or do you walk in as the hero? Microsoft Lync provides the client the opportunity to deploy UC as a phased approach or all at once. And it's something that no one else is doing in the market.
So that's, I mean, that software stack and then unifying all these applications and bringing them together, I mean, it's completely changed what I was expecting out of a voice solution from when I initially understood unified communications.
Well, it's not only voice, it's video, it's collaboration, it's IM, it's presence, it's conferencing.
Hence the notion of unified.
Exactly.
It all comes together.
We no longer have to sit at our desktop and open 5 different applications in order to communicate. It all happens under one application.
So that bandwidth really becomes critical then. If you don't have enough bandwidth, you're not going to be able to run the applications and the range of applications across your campus.
It's paramount.
And then I guess the reliability is a second piece. That if those switches don't have the high availability, if you don't have your QoS, if you don't have the right security, you're not going to be able to extend to your users.
Correct. The latency issue is our largest concern in the voice arena. I mean, it's also the direction of voice becoming the priority over other mediums. Sometimes if you're on a call and we're on a voice call and all of a sudden it's a bit of a pickup of let's add collaboration, video. Let's also call Jed and bring him into this conference and 3 other people. It's gone from a phone call to a full collaborative conference call.
Yeah, so that's got a lot of effect on the network itself, just
Exactly.
that transitioning of bandwidth and capability, and I think a lot of peer-to-peer connection going on, not just client-server.
Well, yeah, I think those peer-to-peer changes really make a full dynamic change. Well, thank you for sharing your feedback on the Microsoft Lync deployment. I really understand that a lot clearer now.
Perfect.
Well,
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Thanks,
a lot.
Jed.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. Thank
Take
you.
care.
It was really interesting to understand how unified communications be extended over the campus.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. We sometimes gloss over the first word, but when you think about it, it's the whole experience of connecting with people, and it's dynamic, different modes, and all on the fly based on what you want to do at the moment. And that really affects the campus as well as the whole end-to-end, as Carol was pointing out.
And the difference of the impact of the software stack instead of just your traditional hardware components. I never realized how that could ease in implementation.